Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Ricky Martin, Elena Roger, and Michael Cerveris joined their director Michael Grandage and met the American and Latin press just minutes after their first Broadway performance in the new production of Evita, and we were there to capture it all.
You, Elena, is that this is your Broadway debut tonight, is it?
Yeah.
How did it feel? How was it for you?
That was big. It was amazing, very emotional. We were a little bit like tense at the beginning, but then the audience was so warm that it was very easy to go on and I feel that we were giving everything. And the cast was amazing and the guys are incredible. So I felt very well for the first time, for the first night.
So, Michael, this isn't your Broadway debut. You're a Tony-winning Broadway actor. You've done many musicals before, but this is your first Andrew Lloyd Webber piece. How is that? What is that? How different is that for you?
Well, it's been thrilling because I had seen the original production, years and years ago. Never kind of thinking at that time that I would even end up on Broadway at all, much less in Evita. And I suppose I've approached it the way I would approach anything in the Sondheim and the other things I've done before. I'd sort of, I'd go to the music to kind of mine everything that I can from it and from the text, and then I try to bring everything that I can to it. And that's sort of true of this as with anything else. It's kind of exciting when you get to do material like this and you get to do it in this kind of venue and with these kinds of performers. Everything is setting the bar so high that you bring the best of yourself as well.
And Ricky, this isn't your Broadway debut. You were here in 1996 in Les Mis. Welcome back to Broadway. How was it for you
Glad
today?
to be back. I am very happy. It was. It's amazing because I did Marius, who was a man that spoke for the people, and I guess Che does the same thing. To speak on behalf of the people is something that's following me, my acting career and in Broadway. It's just been fascinating. I'm in another place mentally, physically, spiritually today, and to be on stage surrounded by maestros. It's been a very beautiful journey, very spiritual, and I'm here to learn. I'm here to grow, and it's been a fascinating trip.
I think we all got a lot of energy from that house tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, of course.
It's so weird having you spend 5-6 weeks rehearsing and then suddenly one night you open it up to 1,400 people. It's a whole different thing.
Richard Ridge from Broadway World. Welcome to Broadway.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to talk about, tell me about Rob Ashford's dancing. I hear it was a dance-driven production. Talk about working on the dance.
Yeah, we should. It was something that Andrew Lloyd Webber and I talked about at the very beginning and wanted to bring dance into it. And that's why Rob is so much an integral part of this production. And we have, of course, in Elena, somebody who can dance, and that was a starting point. And then we got somebody else who can dance, and then we got somebody else to dance. So talk a little about the dancing for you and how that.
Well, I didn't know that Evita had to dance. So the first time when I did it in 2006 was like great. It was incredible. It was lovely to be able to do Buenos Aires dancing. Exhausted, but very nice dance, and it's lovely to be able to dance a little bit of tango at the beginning of the show. Then when I dance with him, a little bit in Buenos Aires, and I know that Rob Ashford went to Buenos Aires a lot of times. He did Kiss of a Spider Woman, and he knows all about the taste and the feeling of Buenos Aires, and I think he did it marvelous here.
And yes, the anxiety is there, but the next step was to just get on stage and feel the energy of the audience. That was the next step. That's what we were begging for at this point.
I know you've done a lot of research for the role, and I'd like to know what was the most interesting thing you found out about Ron Perl.
Well, there were. It would take all day for me to tell all the interesting things. So some of them are things that you would expect and less flattering. Some of them are actually very unexpected things and things that that paint a different, another side to the man and to the relationship. I think probably the most surprising, shocking thing I learned, which is something that doesn't enter into our production, was that the hands of his body were stolen, from his grave some time ago and have never shown up again. Couldn't really figure out how to work that into.
I was saying about the character, that if it was difficult to do a historical character. So I did it 6 years ago, and now I'm older and I'm mature, so I am thinking about the character like in a little bit different way that I used to, and I don't feel like it is a big thing. I do all my works like very focused and serious about them, so it doesn't matter if they are historical or not. So I try to do my best, and I do all the research, and I give my heart and my love, and well, that's it.
The production was really born out of the fact that first revivals for anything are, apart from being an honour to do them, they're also a great challenge, because particularly when the first production of a musical has been iconic in some way, and this certainly was over 30 years ago, but we were very aware that as a whole generation, most of them were in the house tonight who've never seen it on stage before, and that one has to present something in a new time for these people, and that a great deal has happened since that first production, most notably the fact that we have access now to so much of the country that we didn't know about back in the 1970s, and that we wanted to somehow put that onto the stage. The physical life of the piece wanted to be on stage. We also, Andrew was the first to admit, even when he composed the musical originally, he had no real access to the sounds of that part of the world more than the basic knowledge, and his knowledge has grown hugely in the intervening 30 years, and he wanted to get that into the orchestration. So it was really just about, from that point of view, we were able to offer something, I hope, with a more authentic feel. And also, the thing to always remember, between that very first production and this production has been a movie, and the movie has also opened the piece up to a whole new generation as well.
It's he's asking me what is the difference between being able to be on stage on Broadway and to be me on stage when I'm on the road with my music. And I started saying that the first time I was on stage, I was part of a boy band who happens to have a very intense musical approach to the whole story of music, because we pretty much were taking this concept around the world, and it was pretty much there was a script that we had to follow, and there was some choreographies that we need to follow. So the beginning of my career pretty much was very theatrical, and I've been using that today, because obviously the beginning stays, and in this case it stays for good. Obviously 1,400 people, and I've had the opportunity to perform Madison Square Garden, River Plate. It's less intimate. What I'm trying to say by Che, he's a chameleon. You know, he can be so many people at the same time, and that was for me new. When I'm on stage as Ricky, well, I'm Ricky. I am nobody but me. And I think that tomorrow I can be someone else in this, portraying this character, which I find fascinating. It's like an open canvas that I can find colors and textures every night with respect and dignity.
Michael, every actress in the world wanted to play a favorite role in this production. How did you know Elena was your girl?
Because when we met her, it was very obvious. And a lot of people in the first time round, and the moment Elena came in, there was a completely different understanding of the role, and something, and an energy, and every single thing she brought into the room was different to anything we'd seen before, and that was the start of it.